I felt weightless throughout the rite. Beady boss fiends filled my sight. Large they were, and then I saw a straight line across, dividing the top and middle, but thick and electric blue. Beyond my sight, on either side. Like square boxes inside each other, going off inside, at a line across, from top left to bottom right. As I felt pleasantly warm, and a moving down me, like a figure 8 in the way it crossed over. But I saw it in the mirror, in a figure following this sort of, I don't know, it was like a wand or a tool. It had both of those notions of it. Robert S. Elwood continued his introduction by talking about the what would be called prophetic origins of the order. But people who joined weren't looking for that much in the way that a person might join a regular mainstream faith. People wanted to experience of these things themselves. Sometimes different people experience a different part, much like the poem of Rumi and the elephant, and everybody's talking about a different part of the elephant. When they spoke with entities, they got the idea that these entities were of the same type as things that were of themselves. Some people want more than intellectualism. Some people want more than art. Some people want their hands in different aspects of a culture. Some people want a sense of family. Some people want to channel parts of themselves or channel something that they don't find in other groups. Some people don't want something so black and white. Some people want something more down to earth than UFO stuff. Some people want something more than free association oracles and deterministic divination. Some want to go beyond this thing of, is it real or is it isn't real, and see how they can work with and produce constructions of reality, be that social or perceptual or otherwise. Soror Estria wanted both an authentic leader sort of individual and, it seems, unbeknownst to her, a sort of balance between the genders as and such as part of the system, a not caring about political correctness, a sense of art, a sense of taking things to a calling or universal sense, but, empowering the self of all, a quality to things instead of just a quantity. And then we get into what Carrol Runyon talks about. And he also goes over an example of some segments of seasonal rites and how things would have gone down. And then you have an example of 4 of them herein. He was a part of Feraferia and some other things that put things together. But he and others found their calling by their experiences that presented themselves as unusual to, the normal state of individuals that took part in the rituals, whether they were the ones communicating, as some people would call it, possessed, and they engaged in some stuff that was what others would call demonic, but that wasn't their intention, as much as people called Baal and Astarte demons, and other such entities demons. The scripts to these rituals came through in a way that was not so usual to his writing process of writing and rewriting and rewriting and the rewrite and that sort of stuff. There were sources, but certainly they had their spiritual motivation too. Certain things are conveyed in the initiations of the group, and those are not here. And if I knew of the initiations, I would probably have sworn that I would keep them secret, rather than just like in Aqhat, where they psychologically threaten you. And if you don't believe it, well, So, yeah, and I don't think this is the sort of group that would do anything that, might be told about. There are some gangs that they might do something that's more than what a person is looking for, right? Well, one isn't really looking to be beaten into a gang, but you know what I mean. But some of these things are to be done in person, like in Connecticut or Riverdale or non-publicized, non-profit use of the works here can be, done. And I kind of already knew that with a lot of this stuff. Like, there's so many books that there's rituals, and if you perform them privately and all that other stuff, when you read spiritual books to each other or that sort of stuff, either as your temple work or otherwise, if it's off record, you can pretty much share anything. But if you're going to connect this stuff to making money, or try to operate as an official lodge, or connected to some sort of cause, they might help you, but, it's up to them what they want done with it. And that's why I understand why the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and some others would have, used copyrights and stuff to protect themselves. And certainly their rituals, just like the Ordo Templi Astartes rituals, I would think, are basically along the lines of what they share. The exact forms may not be known. They make things a little bit more explicit in the teachings than what's there, but your typical person is not going to get it. But yeah, I don't think there's anything dark and secret to that extent. There's just the experience of the initiation, of making yourself into somebody that's going to, have that be a fitting initiation for you. I wouldn't use the word church, but a person could say that one of the things I'm doing here is along the lines of what would be called a center for the oldest religion. That's an appropriate enough of a title, right? And that's what they're trying to provoke. They're trying to provoke an engagement in the sacredness of the cycles of the seasons and inner and outer alchemy and all that.